Hello, my name is Jack Motter. I'm Russ Doty's neighbor with a cannabis project next door to him. I've operated a row crop farm up Winchester Canyon for the last 5 years, and we're looking to get into cannabis. I was also part of this working group, so I figured I'd kind of give my takeaways from that group. Nothing really that Kathy missed. I just kind of wanted to back her up. You know, our framework wasn't to try to change these laws. As a cannabis grower, it sucks. I'm really sympathetic to this issue. The last thing I want to do is to have, you know, stress for a neighbor farmer having to change their operation and take an economic, you know, decline in their situation. But we didn't choose to have these regulations on this cannabis. So it's this, because of laws that are created, it's this thing that we're trying to deal with. And ultimately, I felt like in the group, you know, people understand cannabis is here. Voters have legalized it. Prohibition days are over. You know, it's in this county, it's in the country, and the world at large, really. And, you know, instead of resisting with change, we need to understand how to deal with this tricky, complicated situation. And so like Kathy showed you, you know, the best way to do that is communication, is making sure you're using best practices that are already the current law when you're applying chemicals. And then, you know, all these other things of good neighbors to understand spray schedules, harvest schedules, etc., is critical. And my business partner Jeff has reached out to Russ. I'll talk to him afterwards, as well as the Cavalettos behind us, to have these sit downs and look at the buffers that we have in place and use as much science and knowledge as we know to hopefully get around this, and hopefully his applicators will be comfortable to spray if we ever are approved. But it's going to take work. It's going to take people communicating. And this group basically came up with as much resources as we possibly could for both sides of the equation to be able to work in this interface. And it's not easy. There's no silver bullet. I just kind of wanted to share that. And I also just feel like it's not new. You know, I wasn't around, but 40 years ago when there was no wineries and all these wineries wanted to come in and there was cattle grazers, I have heard there was lots of drama and lots of issues and what's this new industry? And now can you imagine Santa Barbara without all the wineries and everything else we have going on? It was given a chance. Over time, people were able to work with each other, and I feel like change is always inevitable. We just need to understand, you know, how to best mitigate this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question of the speaker.
Commissioner Farina?
So have you actually grown cannabis yet and run it through the testing and the sales side? Or
we've done in the past some medical stuff, but not to today's current standards.
So when you grew the medical stuff, it wasn't under the same standards?
No, it wasn't under the same standards. It was different. This is kind of new stuff. So we have not, you know, we didn't go for this whole legal non-conforming thing. We stopped that. We're going for it in this new kind of light of how the county wants it. So we have shut down cannabis on our property, and we're waiting to go through the right way and get a permit from you all.
And then on the medical side, was that a federal license, or is that a state license?
No, that was state. It was like
under?
Collective type stuff under the
Okay.
state medical laws.
So
Yeah.
this is kind of all new territory.
This is new territory, and
Great.
we're not going to be operational this year because I see this going on and not having what we need for this coming season. So we're going to do some trials, and I've got some stuff to talk about with Russ as well as the Cavalettos, where we're going to do a research project and really look at drift and do some actual data work on how we can get around this and hopefully come up with a solution. So it's not going to happen fast, but our goal is in the next 12 months to do research stuff and figure that out before we're operational.